What's happening, everybody? Welcome back inside the TCA studio in beautiful Bytown, Canada. Matt Robinson with you as always. We bring back one of our favorites, Joshua O'Connor. What's happening, man?
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
Good to have you back in here.
So good to be here.
I think the last time you were was August, July, something like that.
I think. Yeah. I was checking our text thread. I believe it was July. Yeah. You were on your way to the cottage, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, that doesn't narrow it down. I'm always on my way to the cottage if I can be. So
as you should be.
This is it, man. So good to see you back in here. We got tons to catch up on.
Yeah.
As is always the case. But you know where we like to start.
Oh yeah, please.
And I think this is where we started last time. It got us into a little trouble, but
I've been abstaining. So
okay,
I'm here for it.
So it could be extra trouble actually this time.
Oh, for sure. The stakes are low. We're good. We're good,
on
buddy.
This show, man. About as low as they get. So. What are you going with there?
I'm going back with your beer.
Yeah,
I'm going with your beer, which I thoroughly enjoy, and I'm not just saying that.
You were cool enough to you posted that on your social media not too long after you were. I think I sent you home with a few.
You did,
yeah, they're getting pretty precious now. Like, I don't just give them out to just anybody. In fact, I think that one sitting right there is the last one for guest consumption.
Oh.
I have 6 left. They're just for me.
Do you have anyone else on the slate? Now I feel bad. I can drink something else. If you had someone
fuck that.
you need to impress.
No.
I'm fucking
That was
here.
just for you, man.
Okay.
That was...
I appreciate
because we rode strong with those on the last time you were here. And then to pull back the curtain a little bit, continued in the green room, if I recall, after the show.
Yes, that was a solid hang we had.
Yeah, and we already had chatted in here. That got turned into 2 separate episodes.
Yeah,
and then there was a green room section.
That's right.
So.
Yeah, but I feel like that is just kind of naturally what happens with us.
Well, you and I haven't known each other all that long, really.
That's what. That's very true. I mean, we just had like a 45-minute powwow before we sat down here. Yeah,
but I don't know.
Getting to know each other
and click a little bit in here. I like what you're laying down a lot of the time, and you and I kind of have, I think, some similar interests and whatever else.
Very much so.
I'm also riding with a big boy over here, but this one is actually called the Chocolate Manifesto.
Ooh.
A 10% sweet stout. We'll see how sweet.
Oh yeah, mine's 10 too.
Yeah, no, this is it, man. We're leading off strong here.
I would like to start by saying I apologize for anything I say.
Yeah, well, after I think I gave myself till the next day to edit the last time.
I'll be honest, full transparency, I was terrified to listen back to that podcast.
No, we're all right.
Because I was like, what?
It really only got terribly sloppy afterwards in the green room.
Very true.
Yeah,
very true.
You gotta, at some point, these are 10%, boys. Pump the brake.
I tried to be very cognizant of what I was saying.
Yeah,
but I definitely got a little banged up.
Well,
maybe it was the after conversation.
I think that was a big part of it,
where I was recalling things I was saying. I was like, God, I hope I wasn't on mic.
Were the mics off for that? Yeah, exactly. So, this one, it is exactly what it promises here. It's a little sweet up front. It's kind of like a chocolate milk, but boozier, I suppose you'd say. So that one certainly we've talked about before, but we're running low on them. We're actually almost coming up on a year. Well, I was going to say since our 10th anniversary. I guess that would be our 11th anniversary, but I may have to get in there and talk to Andy about another batch of that stuff that you got sitting there.
Heck yeah.
I know you're all about the energy drinks. Have you tried anything good there lately? Anything new?
You know what's funny, buddy?
Yeah.
I'm not really, I'm back off them. So when I last saw,
slow down a little.
Man, when I last saw you, so July, it was rough. So because I'd been on the road pretty much since March.
Yeah.
When I saw you, and I was home for a quick rip, and then I was back on the road until, honestly, this month. But I was in Montreal in August working with the RCMP, and I remember very distinctly August 24th. I had 6 cans of Monster while I was working.
Jeez.
And felt nothing. And so it was like, and I am not exaggerating.
This isn't even working for me anymore.
I was on another course with a few different police units, I think the week or two before, and they were like openly just laughing / kind of in awe, perhaps. Like I just lined up these cans of like Ghost and C4 and Monster, and they were gone by lunch. And they were like, "Did you actually drink?" And I was like, "Yes, I need this or I'll die." So August 25th, I stopped drinking energy drinks. And then it just became a game. Like the way my brain works, I don't know how about you, but like I'll quit something. I'll hate that I quit something.
Yeah.
But then you reach like the 2-week-ish mark where then it's like you don't want to give up on it's like now I'm locked into this.
Right.
Like not drinking them is now my addiction.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, I want
it's a
this
challenge.
To last.
How long can I kick this down the road?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's how I kind of viewed it. So I abstained until December 1st. December 1st, I cracked one. I think immediately I might have been like 12:01 a.m. cracked one. Like, oh my God, I missed this. But then kind of off them again. So because I went away to work World Juniors in Minnesota.
We're going to talk about that.
Yeah. I wanted, it sounds so silly and like an addict speaking, but like I really wanted them to have an effect on me if I was drinking them.
Right.
And so I was like, I can't ramp back up to 100 and then go work this thing that's going to have me sleep deprived and then I'm going to start doing lines of Coke like before I fucking leave the hotel room in order to like stay solid. So
this is it. Like once you become dependent, it's like any other substance. Right now I need more and more and more of it. And then what's the fucking point if it's not even working anymore?
Exactly. And like shit's not cheap, especially if you're in the US. So it's like on par. Like it's $3.50 American for one.
Oh shit.
So it's how much is like $5 or whatever for one.
Right.
So anyway, long story long, was off them, ramped right back up for World Juniors, hit them pretty hard in Minnesota, hit them hard-ish. No, pretty hard, if we're being honest. Hit them pretty hard in Nova Scotia, and then came back and off them immediately. And so it's like I've had maybe 3 in the past month and a half. Like it's not a thing. Like I'll do pre-workouts and coffee, like pre-workout if I'm working out and coffee, and that's it.
Right.
So I'm kind of off it.
Yeah. Well, I think the last time you were in here, we were talking about some of the crazy ones you were finding in Europe. You were over there working on something, which I also want to talk to you about now that it's out.
Did we not talk? Oh, yeah, it is out now.
Yeah, we had talked about you had done it, but you couldn't give us much at the time. So
that's right, yeah.
We'll get to that here today as well.
I tried like 30 Lithuanian energy drinks, and they were all terrible.
I had a suitcase full of them coming home.
You know what's crazy, though, is like I did that, and I shot videos for every one I tried, and I have not released any of them because they were all bad. Okay. There wasn't a single one that I liked.
The videos or the drinks?
All of them. Like it was just like disappointment after disappointment after disappointment. It was just like, these are not compelling. No one watches those videos to begin with, but it's like, it's even less compelling when they're bad energy drinks.
Sure.
So, yeah.
And this is like, we've had that obviously happen before on this show. Like you have a bad beer and for the sake of the listener, you have to say it's a bad beer. We also want to burn your bridge with the brewery, right?
Yeah,
so you're sort of like,
it's not for me.
It's not for me. And I'm willing to do that because by now, after this many episodes, the listener knows what style is. Like just on Monday, I had a cream ale. I don't love cream ales.
Okay.
So I'm not going to take that out on the brewery.
For sure.
Like I knew going in what this was. And so I sort of, you review it as best you can or whatever else. But yeah, there's been other times where you just have to go, look, it's just not your best outing. Like, I like this brewery. You're normally pretty strong. You missed on this, right?
Yep.
And, you just hope that you've got enough goodwill banked ahead of time that doesn't kill you. But there's no sense telling the listener something's good if it's not.
I agree 100%.
Yeah, so... well, you were just talking about being in Minnesota and then Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
Was that the back-to-back there that Cheryl Pounder ran, the World Juniors and then the women's under 18? Is that what you were doing?
Yeah.
So why don't we get into that? Let's start with working World Junior, man, because I'm curious.
Hit me.
There's been some relationship tension between Canada and the United States.
Yeah.
I think we talked a little about that the last time you were in because you had been down to do under 18s.
Yeah, I just got back from not just back, but I had been in Dallas 2 months prior. Yeah.
Right. Was there any just, difference in going to Minnesota for this? Was it hard on you getting across the border or anything like that in comparison to the last time you went?
Did I tell my border story last time?
I can't remember. It was a long time. I don't. Neither one of us can remember after that.
Very true.
Hit it again, man.
So I'll give the Reader's Digest version. But
this was the under 18s in Dallas in June or May.
So going to Dallas, it's always a thing because like you are working, you're going to the United States to work, which is typically a no-no. But I'm not working for an American company, so it's fine. Blah 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 blah. You have letters of invitation, all that shit. When I was trying to cross the border, like TSA or whatever they're called was really grilling me, and was as soon as I was like, I'm going to work World Juniors, he said, no, you're not. And I said, no, it's okay. He's like, you're going to work in the United States. I was like, oh, technically, yes. I was like, here. And he's like, you're not working in the United States if you don't have like the proper documentation or whatever. I'm just like, buddy. Anyway, so we go back and forth. He's just being an asshole. And I can comfortably say that he was just being an asshole. He wanted my rental. He's like, do you own a home? And I'm like, no, I rent. He's like, do you have your rental agreement? And I was like, on my person? Like, do I
Right.
don't typically walk around
Travel
with my
with that?
rental agreement? Like, what are you talking about? And he's just like, well, how do I know you're coming back? And I was like, well, my 4 kids would be pretty disappointed if their dad just never came back. Like, it was so fucking ridiculous. Anyways, so it was a stressful, like, interaction, just whatever.
Well, and I do vaguely remember you telling this story now. Like, you're working for the IIHF.
Yes.
Which is also not an American
No.
employer. Bell Media, TSN, who you're down there on behalf of, not an American
Yeah.
employer. It's just being hosted
Yes.
in the USA.
Exactly.
So it is a little hairy, right?
It sounds more complicated than it is.
Yeah.
It's just like, well, I don't work for an American company. It's just a thing that's in America. That's it. That's it.
It's an event.
Exactly. And we're all kind of individually stressed. And at the time, it was very like, the tensions were high
Yeah.
because of, you know who, and he who will not be named. But it was fine. We all got in and there was no real issues. That was like the biggest interaction I had. And so, yeah, I don't know if you noticed, the world's kind of fucked up right now.
I have noticed.
And so going back again, I was like, this is going to be a nightmare.
Yeah.
And same things, like you get the letters from USA Hockey and everyone's super chill. And I went to the TSA agent at whatever it was, like 5 o'clock in the morning. And she's like, reason for travel? And I was like, I'm working at World Juniors hockey tournament in Minnesota. And you're kind of brief, like, don't lie. Don't try and be coy.
No.
Like, just tell them exactly what you're doing because you're allowed to and you have all your documentation. Mm-hmm. And she goes, how long are you gone for? And I was like, I think it was like 16 days or 17 days, whatever it was. And she's like, do you have any food? And I was like, I have an empty protein shaker. She's like, that's fine. Have a nice trip.
Oh, wow.
And that was it. It was like maybe a 35-second interaction. And like, it's just like, yeah, okay, go ahead.
Probably weeks of stress leading up to it. And you're like,
honestly,
yeah.
well, and I think, I mean, I don't know. I'm guessing that they've been told, like, no one's coming to the United States anymore.
Yeah.
Like, maybe don't be an asshole about it. Or like, we need tourism dollars. Like, I don't know. And maybe I'm wrong about that. In any case.
Well, and you were going to Minneapolis, which would be the center of the storm, sort of, for a few different things happening.
Well,
at this
so
point.
yeah, we flew out the day that woman was shot.
Oof.
And
Left,
so,
you mean? To go there or to come home?
to come home.
Okay, yeah.
To come home.
Yeah.
That was the day that happened.
Wow.
Which is crazy. And I will say, so 2 points on my trip overall, and this is just my experience. One, genuinely like the nicest people I've ever been around. And like, and to understand, like, for context, my bubble was literally like the hotel.
Right.
And the arenas.
Sure.
And that's it. Like, I did not explore. I went to Target and Walgreens, and like that was the extent of any exploring I did.
Is Minnesota, I believe, is the home of Target, is it not?
I don't know.
Oh.
It was where I saw the largest police presence, though.
At Target.
True story.
Wow.
It was a police SUV.
You were down
out
there
front.
right after the holidays, so you'd probably try Boxing Day sales.
I don't know. Like, it was, but it was pretty chill.
Okay.
Everyone was super nice, and I'm sure part of it is like everywhere you go, I have my ID on.
Right.
I'm dripping in
guy's not from around here.
IHF stuff, and like, so maybe they're putting on ice, but honestly, like, only pleasant experiences. Everyone was super nice, super cordial. Hotels were great. Like, everything about it was awesome. I didn't see any crazy police presence or anything like that. But again, I was kind of in my own little bubble.
Right.
Got to see some nice arenas. Like at the Grand Casino Arena where the Wild play. Like, that was awesome. 3M Arena where the University of Minnesota plays. Super nice. And I'm sorry, I don't know their PWHL teams.
The Frost. Yeah.
Okay, so was there. I got to watch one of their practices, which was kind of cool.
Yep.
Yeah, it was honestly, it was pretty chill. I'm glad we got the fuck out of there when we did, but yeah, it was pretty chill when I was there.
So let's dig into this, and I do want to get your take or your experience around the women's under 18s as well here in a second.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
before we do, you had just worked the year before. The tournament was in Ottawa.
Yep.
In terms of, for you, having that experience, did it change the way you approached it at all? Was there any differences in the way you were asked to do it? Actually, I guess Canada was in the smaller arena most of this tournament, which obviously wasn't the case in Ottawa. Just any notable differences in working experience for you over, one over the other?
How much do you want to peel back the curtain?
Peel it back, man. Let's go. We got lots of beers there in the fridge. We'll do this again.
No, so because, honestly, the World Juniors here was a literal blur. One, because the workload's crazy, and it was my first exposure to it, so it was kind of like a shock to the system. And so it's like...
for any listeners who might be new around here, you're a camera dude. You're shooting this stuff. A better host would have teed that up.
In case you don't know.
Yeah.
So I shoot video for the IAHF, and it's like a lot of game highlight kind of stuff, more cinematic behind-the-scenes type deals.
Right. If you watched Behind the R for the Red Blacks, it's this kind of like bang bang.
Yeah. I like the guy who did that show. I don't know who that was, but
pretty talented.
Super handsome too.
He doesn't smell that great.
Dude, fuck. Man, what the fuck? I got like my good cologne on right now. I
spruced yourself up to come to TCA, man.
Anyone who knows me, who's listening to this, knows how much that will like keep me up at night.
Oh no.
I take so much pride in like having the most curated slate of colognes you could possibly imagine. And funnily enough,
so I have found his Achilles heel, the one place I could slice him.
You know what's funny? I have like no shame. So I on that gig working World Juniors, I am like a cologne nerd, and like I have like a very set like list of colognes that I wear. And on my first day working World Juniors in Ottawa, I get in the car with my boss at the IAHF, and I'm just like, hey, can I say something that might sound weird? And he's like, I was like, you smell really good. And he's like, what? And I was like, you smell so good. Like, what cologne are you wearing? And he's just like kind of laughing at me, like he thinks I'm kidding, and I am dead serious. And he's like, it's just this cologne that like someone got me. And I was like, man, if you could let me know what it is, like I really like it. Because again, just the way I am.
Yeah, okay.
Which I apologize for.
You are absolutely speaking to the wrong, like I know nothing of any, like I am a basic, I don't know, Old Spice or Speed Stick deodorant guy, and then out the door on...
I clocked this fragrance from a mile away, and I knew it would be good on me, and so I was like, I need to know. And so like the next day, we're on the way to, I think I was working TD Place, so it was on the way to TD Place, and he's like, hey, I took a picture of the bottle, it's like, here's this Hugo Boss thing. And so... as a joke for this World Juniors, I bought it and wore his cologne every day we worked together. And he never picked up on it because he smells like that cologne.
Yeah, so it'd be...
But that's what I'm wearing right now. That's a long way to get back to that little anecdote.
I didn't mean to hurt you, buddy.
It's okay. Yeah. It's okay. I'll live.
So you were shooting at World Juniors. That's what you do.
I was shooting at World Juniors, and so I had done the event in Dallas. And let's see, we were here in July. So yeah, like I had pneumonia from January until February, like end of February, beginning of March last year.
Of 25, yeah.
Yeah. And so my first real gig of last year was going to Dallas. And I was still like coughing and like living on Buckley's and Robitussin and Dayquil, and just like I was high the entire time I was there, like functional, but I was honestly like just tripping balls on every cough medication known to man to try and make it through. And I was really displeased with how I did. And I don't think I shot anything that was particularly good. I didn't do anything outside the box. I didn't really push myself creatively. Like I feel like I phoned it in. I didn't phone it. No. I did my job.
It wasn't a lack of effort. It was
but I just not my best work. And so I really went into Minnesota with kind of a chip on my shoulder to myself. Like no one's telling me I suck, and they asked me to come back, so I couldn't have sucked that bad.
Right.
But it was really like I kind of had a point to prove.
Smells good. Bring him back.
Yeah. I do. Thank you. No, so I was really down on myself. If I'm being totally transparent, for any young creative who decided to listen to this podcast for some reason, like it happens.
Yeah.
And so it sounds so cliche, but I really mean it. Like I started training for this World Juniors, and I changed my diet completely 3 months
Really?
out. I started working out like crazy because I didn't want to feel tired. I didn't want to feel low energy. I didn't want my body to hurt every day. And so I started making changes in my life to be like, no, like that's kind of like the test. Because I think anyone who works that tournament, if you can do that and do it successfully and be happy with what you put out, like it's a big accomplishment.
Well, it's a marathon, multiple games per day for 2 straight weeks, plus whatever setup and stuff is happening beforehand.
So that's the thing. Like typically you're talking like 7 a.m. to midnight-ish, 7 days a week, pretty much, for a couple weeks straight. So it's tough. I mean, like these are first world problems. It's a great job to have. And you're surrounded by people who are all working just as hard, which makes it easier in a lot of ways, in most ways.
Doesn't mean it's not daunting.
No, and you know, we were talking off mic before, just like at our age, we got to be cognizant of certain things. Like I'm pushing 40, and so it's like, yeah, my body can't do those things anymore. Like 5 hours of sleep a night is not something I can operate on. So I went into Minnesota really wanting to kind of prove my worth to myself, so to speak, and just kind of be on top of my shit, which I think I was to a degree. I don't think I did anything crazy or like groundbreaking or earth shattering, but I got to cover some really cool shit and got to capture some very special moments, which was awesome. And some of my edits were okay. I don't even really remember them. But then by the time we got to World Women's under 18, there we go. It's a mouthful.
You go. It is.
I was in a very good groove, and I was like, in my opinion, crushing. And so I was by the time everything was all said and done, I was very pleased with everything. But yeah, you're definitely, I think anyone might be lying if they're not saying like you're not in your head a little bit going into those events, because you're like, in my opinion, you're constantly being evaluated. There are a million people who do my job in this world. And so it's like, if I'm not doing my best work, there is someone directly behind me who is going to try and work harder than me. So yeah, I definitely approach it.
And it's a high profile event, especially in this country, right?
Like for sure.
And you know, if you're the guy who's got the chance to capture the next Jordan Eberle goal or the next big moment like that, and you're like, oh fuck, I missed that, but oh well. No, not oh well, right? Like that was a huge moment. We want every angle. We want the best shots at it. We want the best packages put together for it, because we're going to play that goal every year from now until eternity. Well, there's some pressure to that, right?
It's the goals, and there were a couple little things, like very little things that I think your average fan wouldn't even necessarily pick up on, where like filming outside the locker room while they're reading Team Canada's lineup sheet.
Yeah.
And just having like a shot of the hallway, but hearing the coach yell and everyone cheering for each name coming up. It's like, I like that's my speed.
Sure.
I like those kind of behind the scenes moments that they're not super flashy, they're not super sexy, but they set the tone for what's to come.
It's almost a little voyeuristic kind of thing. Like we get to hear this thing.
Well, it's very similar getting after the bronze medal game, getting the coach's speech.
Right.
Like TSN wasn't even in the room for that.
Wow.
That was just like, I happened to be there doing post-game media with our game host, and I was just there, and I was like, I'm just going to film until they tell me not to film. And you get this moment, and he gave this really beautiful, touching speech to these players about how, like, the importance of a bronze medal game and to not, like, have their heads low for winning bronze. And it was a really nice speech, and, like, that clip fucking blew up. It's like, and again, there's nothing sexy or crazy, but it was just right place, right time, right vibe. So
it's being aware of your surroundings, right? Like what could be a story? What could be a moment? What could be of like, no, get this, right? And when all else fails, it's impossible, but your mind almost leans to get everything, right? And I'll figure out later on what's important, but you do have to have your head on a swivel. I'm like, oh, actually, this could be a real thing right here, right now, and we should grab that. Right?
And I will say, like, I think I learned that. I mean, I'm still learning like every day. But I think you get a good finger on the pulse. I got that working with Red Blacks. As you can imagine, there were a lot of situations that weren't super optimal. And like whether it's at halftime or post game or whatever, and you kind of like
the last 6 years.
You said it, not me.
Nope.
But you get the read of the room, because again, like that was my gig there. It was like behind the scenes stuff, and you can get a read where you're like, I should not film this. I am going to put the camera, not even like I'll film it and we won't use it. Cause like I'm always kind of playing out things as like a redemption story in my head as I'm shooting.
We're in this moment. It's a bad moment. We'll get the good moment later.
Exactly. Well, and I that's kind of my approach to like player injuries too, especially depending on severity, of course.
Yep.
Where you're like, this is bad now, but like you're gonna want this when he runs back onto the field for the first time.
Yep.
You're gonna want the worst of the worst, then the best of the best.
Yep.
But then there are times where you're like, you know, where you have someone who's as, and I say this as a compliment, like someone as intimidating as Bob Dice, just ripping into a situation, and you're like, I do not feel comfortable filming this. And no one, exactly. I'm never going to use it. And it's like, I also never want to be the guy that they're thinking about is in the room.
Right.
Where you're like, why is he filming this? He needs to get the fuck out of here. It's like, no, it's my job to know that I shouldn't be filming that and I should get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
And so very similar, like, and it's the same in all sports where.
And yet in those moments, you have the ability to know the coach, to know the room, to know the players and know your place within it.
Yes.
This is a moment for me to do this. This is a moment to not. You're sort of parachuted into these tournaments, right? It's got to be a little harder to grab a feel for, you know.
Yeah, it's regimented in a very interesting way, just in how you gain access or don't gain access to certain teams' rooms or players or anything like that. But there's no, like, as an example, so is Sweden in the gold medal game? Yeah, Sweden in the gold medal game in Minnesota against, oh my God, who did they play? Czechia?
This is pulling the curtain back, everybody.
Yeah. No, so the way it works is like gold medal game, you know, you have cameras all over the place because like you got someone needs to be on the ice for the medal ceremony.
Yeah. And
then you're going to have
sticking their camera right in the kid's face as he's
like you want all that. Yeah, you want those shots, and the raising the trophy is a big one.
Yep.
Is you want like good coverage on that. So you'll have that, and we were very lucky to have Michael from the PWHL was in Minnesota to help us with like additional camera on ice or like up off ice. So we had 2 cameras on that, so I could just chill with our in-game host and our social media lady in the Sweden locker room. So I could be prepped for that moment when they run into the locker room. So
sure.
But all that's cleared ahead of time.
Yes.
By my boss, who just reaches out to the Sweden media manager and says, hey, can we be in the locker room after the game? And they go, yep, or nope. And all it is like,
or is it conditional? Like if we win, yes. If we lose, no.
It can be. And I mean, you wouldn't want to be in the locker room. Like for us, there's no value in that footage.
But for Sweden, there certainly would, or any team that loses. Like, no, we don't want, these kids are 19. We don't want you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And all the teams have their own video people typically.
Yes, yeah.
So it really is just like, yeah, if we win, like, yep, go ahead. Like, no problem. You can talk to whoever you want. Or if they're like, if there are certain players who are like, hey, we want to talk to this person, that media manager will arrange and like wrangle those. Like they're super, super organized with it. Mm-hmm. And so it makes it very easy, if I'm being honest. Yeah. Like it's, you don't have that relationship. You haven't created that rapport with the coaching staff or anything like that. But it's managed so meticulously that it's seamless. Like to be honest, I mean, they've been doing it forever, right?
100%.
Yeah.
Although it is sort of a new era now, as you said, like it's not going to be just a highlight for, you know, Sports Center or its equivalent across Europe. It's going to be on TikTok. It's going to be on Instagram. It's got to. You need moments to create content for 1,000 different places.
Absolutely.
How long? Because I'm trying to remember now. It was before, I guess. We had Cheryl Pounder in here in the fall, and she was talking about, you know, this upcoming schedule she was about to run of Minneapolis, and then off to Nova Scotia for the women's under 18s, and then really not that home for all that long before going to the Olympics over in Italy. So how long did you get home in between the World Juniors and then heading out to Nova Scotia for the women's under 18s?
16 hours.
Is that it?
Yeah. Yeah. So
the World Juniors ends on a Sunday. I don't remember the exact date. Doesn't matter. It's like the 3rd or the 7th or something like that.
Yep.
You get home on the Monday, the Tuesday,
something like that. You know what?
Probably the Monday, right?
I don't want to be rude, but I will give you accurate information.
Let's do this,
and I will pull up my
because that's wild. 16 hours.
Yeah. So I flew home on the 6th, and I flew out on the 7th. So I landed in Ottawa at 5:30 p.m. and I flew out of Ottawa at 4 p.m. the next day.
Was there any part of you that for a moment was just like, Just fly me straight there. Like,
the plan was to fly me straight there. So when we were going through travel arrangements and everything, and I agreed to it, I was like, yeah, like we'll figure it out. They were like, you send in what flights you want.
Yeah.
And I put the ask in. I was like, hey, like I have a really good relationship with my boss there. And he's truly like just an amazing human. Just, I really like him as a person. Mm-hmm. And he's a great boss. And I was like, hey, like I'm going to need to fly home even for a day, like just for my mental health.
I need to see my
kids. No, fuck my clothes. I need to see my kids. Because like I know where my head will be at after 2 weeks of not seeing my kids.
Yeah.
I just need to see him even for a day.
Yeah.
I just need to see my kids.
Just need a hug and then I can go.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like recharging my battery.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's all I need. And it was admittedly a fucking nightmare for him to arrange that. But he did. He's a dad too, and I think he gets it, and he's just a good dude again.
Right.
So he made the arrangements, and that was the best we could do. Because also flying into Sydney was a fucking nightmare.
Well, and there are no direct Minneapolis to Sydney, Nova Scotia flight. Like you're gonna have to do some crazy shit to begin with.
So what it ended up being was a flight to Halifax and then driving from Halifax to Sydney, which is what we ended up doing. But like it worked insofar as like it was great for my mental health. Like I felt like a completely new woman by the time I left. I was like super pumped. But yeah, it was like a day. Like by the time I got home from the airport and dropped my stuff off, and I'm trying to think. I don't even think I did laundry. I think I had ordered clothes because I'm a pretty simple dude. And so like I just wear these like long hem t-shirts off Amazon.
Right.
And so I have like, at this point, probably like 15 of them.
This is it. I'm familiar with the Amazon brand.
Yeah.
T-shirt.
And so I genuinely, I think I had ordered like a pack of socks, a pack of underwear, and a pack of t-shirts. and that was it. And then I just went, swapped those into my bag, and then left. I didn't unpack any camera gear or anything because I was bringing all the same shit.
Sure. You probably remember this, being the internet nerd that you are, much like myself. Mm-hmm. It can't be more than 4 or 5 years ago is something I say about things that probably happened in 2014. But I think in this case, I'm actually correct. We got scenes coming out of World Juniors, which is shot in beautiful HD, top panelists there, beautiful production. Mm-hmm. And we get to the women's under 18s, and it looks like it's being shot through somebody's BlackBerry Curve. And it was just awful. Like, there was no commentary. It was a web broadcast.
Oh, yeah.
This is, like I said, perhaps longer ago than I'm remembering it to be.
Probably not.
But not that long ago. And that really felt like a moment where, I don't know if this is the right term or not, but like, the organizers were shamed into like, hey, come on, like this is a terrible look. Let's do this right. It's a comparable tournament to, if not like obviously the men's under 18s or whatever. Like this deserves a better look. This deserves a little more attention than what it's getting. And we have seen now over the last several years that ramp up, and it does start to get the attention. And if nothing else, TSN has taken an interest, and you get broadcasters like Kenzie Lalonde and Cheryl Pounder out there doing, like, you get grade A broadcasts now.
Yep.
So I believe, and you'll correct me if I'm wrong, this is the first time that you have worked this one specifically.
Yeah.
What was it like to kind of quickly, stop at home, grab the Amazon underwear and head off back out the door, and now turn your attention to this thing? It's a slightly different vibe. It's a slightly different community. But clearly now one that is no less important to the IIHF to put on a good show.
I mean, it was fascinating for a number of reasons. So from like a purely creative perspective, mm-hmm. dealing with male hockey players and then dealing with female hockey players is night and day.
Follow any PWHL social media and you can see.
Yeah, and
they're just different players. Right? They're different personalities.
It was really cool. It was kind of so I don't have this with the men, and I don't want this to sound condescending. So I really want to make sure I'm not taken out of context here.
I'm going to edit this so terribly for you.
No, So because I have 3 daughters and my son is still young. My son's 11. I don't have the same feeling as I do when I was filming the women's under 18, whereas like there are girls who are my daughter's age.
Sure, yeah.
And so it was like really inspiring in an unexpected way where you see like some of these girls are savages. And it was awesome. Like I was so pumped to film some of these games. And you do get like a weird paternal thing where you're like, you know, you have like your photo day, your media day, and you're interviewing these girls and you're doing all the B-roll stuff and you're just like, man, you're my daughter's age, but you're basically a professional athlete.
Yes.
And it's like, that's crazy. And I think the big takeaway and the biggest difference I noticed was like, they're all having fun.
Yeah.
Like externally having fun. Whereas like, I'm sure the men are, but they don't really show it. And I don't know if that's an administrative thing, a coaching thing, or a culture thing. Like they
all want to look like NHL pro interviews too, right? Like we're gonna get pucks in heat.
Yeah, so, I mean, like they're weird. Everyone is different, like stakes.
This might hurt my draft stock.
Exactly. So thank you. That's kind of what I'm getting at. Whereas, you know, with the girls, fucking, what are the most frustrating things ever? I say this with love. Is like, so the way it works is, team photo. You have a very limited time on the ice in the time between team photo and when their practice starts, each team.
Yep.
And so you need to get, you know, the 3 or 4 players that you want to highlight that you're probably doing a sit down interview with at a later date. You want to get them on the ice in their gear and then do all of the slow-mo B-roll shots and everything like that. And like, okay, you got to look this way and put your stick at the camera and like you want all that stuff. And you have like minutes to do it. Like under 10, realistically, it's going to be like you're flagging the media manager. I'm like, hey, 19, I need 19. Right. Get her stick and come over here and look at me. And like, that's the whole thing, right? But like usually
too often athletes who don't speak English.
Oh, buddy, that was a whole other thing.
An international tournament.
Yeah. So like I've encountered that a couple times with the men, but it's, with the women, it was like zero English.
Right.
Like it was actually
a lot of the men are playing in other leagues internationally, or at least have been practicing English, knowing they want to be drafted.
And that's exactly how it was explained to me. It is like the girls play in Europe, live in Europe, whereas a lot of the men play over here.
Right.
So anyway, like when it's like, okay, team picture's done, and like it's just that little window in between team picture and practice where you need to wrangle players, everyone just spidered off and started doing TikToks. And it was like a semicircle around the arena of girls putting the phones on the boards, and they all had dances already prepared and everything like that. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And it was like alien to me because everyone was doing it.
Well, the other element is in women's sports, I think there's a certain element of we better promote ourselves.
Absolutely.
Because nobody else is going to promote us.
Absolutely. And so, I respect it.
Sure. And, you know, I'm sure those sorts of sessions happen at a World Junior or whatever else, but everybody else is already shooting it. This will be on TSN or this will be on whatever. The girls don't get that. No. I'll create this moment for myself.
And it was, at the time, a little like, fuck it, I fucking need to film this thing. Can you stop filming a TikTok for 5 seconds so I just need you to look serious and point your stick at the camera, please, for the love of God. But the flip side of that, the non-producer brain, is just like, it's awesome to see them having fun with this. Because everyone, like in my experience, this is just my experience, but in my experience, it's to your point, you got draft stock to worry about. Like you need to hold yourself a certain way because like everything's at stake. This is the moment you've been working for. I get it. I get it. But it's just hockey, and you should be having fun. And to see all of these girls on every team was exactly the same, just having fun and enjoying it, which is what sports should be.
Yep.
It was really fucking cool. Like really fucking cool. And I didn't expect it. No one had kind of given me a heads up that, hey, this is what it's going to be like because they had all had exposure to it previously.
Sure.
And it was just, and
there is even an age difference too, right? Obviously U18 versus U20.
Sure.
So
but
there is
even
a little
I did U18 men's in Dallas. And it's like, it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that.
They weren't doing their own TikTok.
Yeah. Like I didn't see a single cell phone on any player out doing anything like that. And so that was really cool. And like doing, you know, the headshot behind the scenes stuff and just how they held themselves and how they were just like the culture of it was really awesome. and it made that tournament a lot of fun to shoot.
Right.
So yeah, like it was night and day from any men's tournament I've done. In terms of like coverage, I can't. My only gripe, and I use this word very gently because I would like to remain employed.
Of course.
That you run into, that's tough. And honestly, from a business perspective, I do see it, is like, are you going to put a full broadcast panel at Slovakia and Hungary at 9 a.m. on a Tuesday?
Right.
Like the amount of money it's going to cost to produce and broadcast that game, are you going to see any sort of return? Is it worth the loss? Maybe the answer is yes. And I will say this as with my whole ass chest. I am not educated enough to make that assessment. This is just my outside perspective looking in, because you had games where there are like 4 people in the stands.
Yeah.
And it was the same with the men's, to be
course.
abundantly clear. Man, especially Dallas, where it's like...
And Minnesota got ripped a little bit for the attendance for some of these lesser games.
Man,
right?
as soon as the U.S. lost, you knew it was going to be rough going. But like all the Canada games were attended well, obviously in Nova Scotia. The Canada-USA game was off the hook. Like it was... such a good vibe.
Man, I'm one of these guys who, even now, when I'm watching NHL games or whatever else, I'm less and less interested in the panels. Like, I know what I think about this. Am I right? I don't know. But, like, I'm less interested in the panel, but I need a good broadcast. I need a good...
Yep.
And so, I don't know how much... Now, I certainly understand people go, hey, if you're going to do a World Junior panel for Switzerland, Germany in the quarterfinals, you better find a way to do that at the women's U18. I have time for that debate. I think that's a reasonable discussion.
Yep.
I don't need the pregame show or the panel for either one of them, right? Like, I just give me a good broadcast, good camera work, good audio, good commentary, and I'm set. But I understand that these things are not equal, right? They are not
100%.
yet still be treated that way, and that's a whole other debate, I suppose.
I mean, the only thing from my perspective, just my perspective, that I can touch on is like no commentary is an uphill battle, just because when you're cutting highlight packages, commentary is game breaking.
I'm with you on that.
Camera work, I can't speak to. It's like, so I pulled clips from every game, commentary, no commentary, and I saw no fall off. Like the TSN crews, and I'm not just saying this, like the TSN crews who cover those games are the best.
So you're working for the IIHF, right?
Yeah.
But IIHF will pull TSN, like if it's in Canada, TSN is the host broadcasters, how that works, right? So it's TSN's camera people and
who shoot the actual broadcast.
Yes.
And even so, like those games that didn't have, like the women's games that didn't have commentary, or so, and if someone out there wants to correct me, they're all shot by TSN operators.
Right.
There's just no commentary on top of it.
Yeah.
So you're still getting the quality that you would for a men's tournament, or like a medal game in the women's tournament. There's just no commentary.
And this is it. And I'm not going to sit here. I'm not going to be that guy who says, hey, it used to be worse, so what you have now is fine. That's not the argument I'm making. But the leaps and bounds, as we circle back to the point that we started from here, that, like I said, it looked like it was being shot 5 years ago on a BlackBerry.
Yeah.
This has come a long way. And
for sure.
They took a beating because of it. Like, you're not treating this thing fairly. You're not giving this thing the same respect. And so it is to their credit that they have taken notice of that critique and gotten better, but it's because they weren't doing it at first, right? And again, this is my take. It's not your take. I'm not trying to get you fired anywhere or anything like that. But I'm just saying, the people who make these... make that outcry over are what make this happen. Like, you do need people who are more passionate and more knowledgeable to go, hey, I just watched you produce, like I said, Germany, Switzerland in a men's quarterfinal, full panel, full commentary, full HD.
Shot that game.
Right. Be there for that at the U18. That's not an unreasonable request, right? That it gets a similar amount of attention. And again, there's a business case, there's all these things, but we gotta get, because this stuff is starting to work in the PWHL, man. Like, I just was doing some research here over the last couple of days coming out of the Olympic Games, that there was absolutely and literally zero uptick for the men coming out of the NHL Olympics.
I read that,
on what their ratings were in the first couple games back.
Yep.
But that on the women's side, the Seattle Torrent sold out Climate Pledge Arena for the first time as a PWHL franchise for a standard home game. So there is still room for that growth on the women's side, right? You can still grab a tent. Team USA coming home women's champions. People in Seattle wanted to celebrate that, wanted that to be a thing, and it became a thing.
Well, it was kind of cool. Like, I think my kids are kind of desensitized to anything I do.
It's just dad.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it interests them. But so like my older daughters are on social media because they're on social media.
It's too bad.
Yeah, it is what it is. And so yeah, like my middle daughter was seeing all the stuff from the under 18s women's tournament, and she's like, "Can you take me to a charge game?" She's like, "This looks
Let's
awesome."
go.
And like has never like is not a sports girly girl.
Right.
Like it's like has not expressed any sort of interest, but was seeing all the updates and the highlights and stuff. And again, like I had a lot of fun shooting that tournament. Like I was again, I'm not backpacks sounding like an arrogant fuck, but like I was at my best during that tournament, and I was like, this is fun. I'm having fun. I'm getting great content.
Players are having fun.
The gameplay was so good, and I hate to say it, and like shout out Team Canada was awesome. I love their coach. She was like, I could listen to her read the encyclopedia to me. She was just like, she made my job so easy in terms of like editing and sound bites and all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
Team USA was awesome.
Yeah.
Like it was such,
problematically so. They're
oh
gonna
my
be,
God.
Yeah, they're going to be a problem.
And again,
for a while.
amazing coach who was like soundbite central. And just like I was having so much fun at a time where maybe I was delirious. But like when you would expect to be like super down and broken and exhausted and all this kind of stuff, I was like having the most fun shooting sports I had in a very long time. And to have my daughter see that and be like, hey, like, I want to see these girls play hockey. This is really cool.
Yeah.
When having expressed zero interest in it before, it was
Right.
like, ooh, yeah, okay.
Well, like I have no problem saying this to you, man. Like it's a complicated relationship right now. I'm a Leaf guy, right? But the Leaf,
so we discussed earlier.
the Leaf crowds are boring. And
because it's all corporate, right?
And you know
like
what?
The shtick?
Sens fans, Sens games, the on-ice product can be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Men's hockey, we've got a formula. These are the songs we play in arena. These are the contests we do in arena, although the Prime Minister race in Ottawa is fucking fantastic.
Oh my God.
That's such
So
a good idea. I like that.
So good.
There is no comparison. And I'm not going to sit here. I'm not going to lecture anybody. I'm not going to say which hockey is better. The vibe at a Charge game is so much more fun than at an NHL game, with the things they're doing, the way the crowd reacts, the fits they do on their social media as they're all walking in with their different, like everything about it just creates a different type of vibe.
Yeah.
And being at a Charge game is more fun than being at a Sens game or a Leaf game. I'm not telling anybody what the hockey differences are. I'm talking about the fun of the environment. I don't think it's particularly close. And if you can kind of transfer that out, and yeah, like you said, if your kids start to see, all right, this is what it looks like at the women's U18, let me go take a look at that. Let me go and see what one of these Charge games looks like. That's business well done.
Yeah.
You have created a potential fan out of that.
Which is why, organizations who are smart like TSN understand that and are leaning into that because they're like, there's something here.
Yep.
Just to add to that point, and not to spider off into a different conversation though.
Why not?
It's what we do. Yeah. But I think there's something interesting there where it's like, well, why do we go to sporting events now as it is? Are you going for the experience and the vibe?
I'm going to buy $22 beers.
Gameplay? Yeah, exactly. So like I was lucky enough to take my kids to a Sens game not even that long ago.
Yeah.
Because they have a great retail manager named Cameron from the Red Blacks who hooked that up, and I love him to death for it.
Yeah.
And so I brought 3 of my kids, and we had a great time.
Sure.
It was awesome.
Yep.
I couldn't, if you had a gun to my head, tell you what the score was.
Right.
I don't know who won, and I'm saying that a hand on.
Yep.
I'm not a religious guy. A hand on my cameras or my guitars, things I hold sacred.
Yeah.
I have no idea who won. I don't know what the
get that.
score was. Like I swear to
These
God.
there's so many things like this that it's experience.
And my kids couldn't tell you. I'm sure they couldn't tell you. And so it's like, well, why are you, the argument, oh, well, the Charge and the quality of the hockey, and it's like, dude, no one gives a fuck. Like, honestly, like, if you want to watch the highest level sports, like, okay, let's talk about the Super Bowl. Like, you're going to go to the Super Bowl to watch it? No, you're going to sit on your couch.
Yep.
It's like,
Yep.
It's
true.
Like, it's such a silly argument.
Yes.
That it's like, oh, it's got to be the best. Like, does it? Like, does it actually?
It's who did I go with? What was the experience like? And look, if it's a big, like, if you're the type of person who pays to go to a Game 7 or something like that, I get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Well,
I need you to leave me alone.
I can understand it from an outside point
right.
of view, yes.
But I get that. That's one thing. But if it's just a random Saturday and you're looking to go with some friends or take your kids or go with family or whatever, you will remember those moments. The wide eyes as they're looking down at the bright lights and how white the ice is.
Yep.
And, the silly selfies they're going to take and things like that will be the thing that stays with you
100%.
as opposed to Sens beat Leafs 4-2 on a random Saturday in March 2026.
Exactly.
Who cares, right?
Exactly.
Like, you care, but you don't really care. Like, it's the vibe.
And that's just it. And like, so my plan, I haven't looked at their schedule because I'm a terrible parent and I've traveled too much. But like, my plan is to take my daughter to a Charge game.
Yeah.
And I know, and we'll do another episode whenever, and we can reconfirm this, where it's just like, it won't matter what the score is. It'll matter, did she have fun?
Right.
And that's it. And like, and again, like,
And frankly, did she have fun for $50 a seat as opposed to $130 a seat?
Yeah,
too? Like it's all factors in, man.
100%.
Do you want families to come and have a good time on a Saturday afternoon,
100%.
or do you want my drunk ass and a buddy to show up and yell at you suck, Sanderson, for $130 a piece?
Also,
right?
shout out Tim Hortons. We did Tim Hortons at CTC.
Yeah.
And because we just want hot chocolate and donuts and
Sure,
stuff like
yeah.
that. And it's the same prices as a normal Tim Hortons.
Good on you. Because it is not from Molson.
Well, that's just it. Honestly, I was so mentally prepared to be like, this is going to be the most expensive fucking hot chocolates and donuts I ever buy, in the exact same prices. And it was like, okay, like, you get it.
My dad knew a guy who had season tickets for the Leafs.
Okay.
And that guy didn't want to go. So my dad would buy 12 or 13 games a year off him or whatever. And I would end up with a certain number of them per year. And they were almost dead center ice on the upper deck, and they were awesome. Like the vibe or the view was almost like you were watching on TV. Like you were from that distance. The bench was on the far side. But when you would come down, straight across the concourse from where our seats were, where those steps came down, was the men's washroom. Okay. On the left side was a Molson stand, and on the right side was a Tim Hortons.
Amazing.
And so, depending on who you'd go with them, one guy peels off to the left, somebody peels off to the right, somebody's going straight ahead, right? Like it was a perfect location. But I can't say I've ever shopped at Tim Hortons while at a hockey game, so I didn't know they charge the same thing.
No, it's great. I was super pumped. Good customer service. Nice. Are we going to a Red Blacks game this season?
Yeah, I think we probably should.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I'm ready.
Okay. You're ready to get hurt again? Because
hey.
I want to talk to you about football on the other side of the break.
Okay.
But just before we take that break.
Yes.
You were saying how much fun it was and how much you were loving the women's U18.
We'd do it again in a heartbeat.
I'm curious, what do you think it feels like if they happen to be in the opposite order? If you do women's U18s first and then go to World Junior, because the World Juniors has become so professionalized and the players are, like we said, all the stuff we've talked about, worried about their draft status and what contracts they might get and this and that. Are you still as fired up? Is the women's as much fun first? Or is it because the men's was so... I don't want to shit on it. I watch it every year, right? I like the World Juniors. I'm not trying to be that guy, but it has one vibe, and the women's U18 has a different vibe. Is it that it was refreshing going from one to the other, or do you think you could have gotten the same joy out of the women's U18 going first, and then would the men's have been a bit of a buzzkill? Is there any correlation between the two in the order that they happen?
I'm going to choose my words carefully.
Yeah.
Because great question. Great question.
Thanks, man. He's choosing them very carefully.
I'm choosing my words very carefully.
This is still only your first 10% beer.
Correct. And we're like a little more than the halfway mark. But honestly, I don't want to get taken out of context when I say this, but this is my sincere answer.
Okay.
I think if the women's was first, I'd be too relaxed going into the men's. It'd be too happy.
This is great.
This is fun. This is really good. Because realistically, as of right now, and this is where there's a lot of pressure on the men's tournament.
Yeah, of course.
It's the bigger tournament, I say with the utmost
pressure
respect.
on the broadcasters, pressure on the players.
A lot of pressure on the broadcast. Like, it's I don't think I'm out of line saying it's an institution.
Of course
Watching
it is.
World Juniors on Boxing Day is a cultural institution in this country.
Yep.
And there's a lot of pressure on the creative side of that to like not fuck that up.
No.
And so you kind of go in a headspace where it's like, hey, it's game time. And like, I need to be on my absolute fucking A game and I can't miss anything. And I mean, and that's me projecting onto me. I don't have someone in my ear being like, don't fuck this up, Josh.
No.
Like I do that to me just to be abundantly clear.
To you
like, and I'm
you're gonna ruin it.
I want that pressure professionally. Like I don't want to suck at my job. Like I want to be really good. There's just a lot less pressure with the women's tournament in terms of not overall output, because you're outputting literally like the same content.
Yeah. And I want to do right by these girls, right?
And and so that's the funny thing. It's funny you say that. There is an unconscious pressure to overperform for that exact reason, because you want to do right by these girls and you want to have them represented. I hope it's not condescending to say girls, the women.
I threw that word in
so
first.
It's like, you know what? Like I said earlier, I don't mean in a condescending way. It's like, you're my daughter's age. It's just girls.
I still, to this day, I have two sisters. One just hit their 40s. One is about to. When I talk to my parents, like, how are the girls doing? Like, that's just the way it's always been. I don't mean anything by it if you're taking it that way.
Okay. So you and I are on the same page. We're all friends here.
Right.
You want to do right by them.
Yeah.
Because like the skill level is fucking insane.
Yes.
Like fucking insane. They're literal professional athletes and they don't necessarily get the credit they should for that. And so you want to really, and that's why, like I said earlier, like I was fucking like all the Team Canada games. I was like, all due respect to all other teams, I'm trying hard at all other games. Just to be abundantly clear, I am not trying harder for any Team Canada games. But if I was, I want them to get the best representation with the best clips. And like, who cares? This is video clips. This is just me espousing my own whatever. You want it to be great for them. You want, because you're capturing a moment.
My element to this.
Well, yeah,
to be the best it can be. My contribution to this.
Yeah, kind of like you're capturing a moment that not many people are capturing. And that's really, long story long. That's how I feel about like locker room stuff.
Right.
Like filming in any locker room. You know, I talked to the TSN guy. It's funny. Ian from TSN.
Not that Ian.
We were talking at the airport. We ran into each other on the way back home in Chicago. Mm-hmm. And we're talking about it, and like we were in the Sweden locker room together. Which he and I and his assistant camera, and it's just us.
Yep.
We're the only two people in the world who are capturing this moment for these kids, and they're kids. Like, there's a weight to that. There's a pressure to that, but there's something really special about that. I almost get emotional talking about it, to be perfectly honest with you. Like, we're one of two people in the world who's capturing this one thing that's only going to happen once. And like, you see these kids and like, they're the happiest they've ever been in their lives.
And this comes up every year around the World Juniors, man. For so many of these kids, the majority of these kids, this is it.
Exactly.
This is the highest the biggest stage they will ever play on.
Exactly.
If they want to go back and search in 5 years and 10 years and 20 years and find it, somebody has to have caught that. Someone has to have captured that for them.
Exactly.
So it'll be there.
And so for the women's, it's the same, but kind of amplified.
100%.
And so you're like, just don't fuck anything up. Like, that's just kind of where my head's at. It's just like, you take, I'll be honest, like, just, again, I'm speaking to myself. It's like, I was taking a lot more chances.
I was going to ask, would you take fewer risks?
No,
with the women?
more risks.
More risks.
More risks, because you want, I mean, like, at the end of the day, Canada versus USA, there's going to be a million cameras shooting that. And you have the TSN broadcast to pull from if you miss anything. But you definitely, not so much the gold medal game because that was fucking intense as shit, but like the games leading up to the semis, the quarters, you're like, I want good shots.
Right.
And so like a good example of one that you want to get at every tournament leading into the finals is like a locked off shot of a section of seats with the net in a corner, be it the left or right corner, bottom corner, where you're expecting a goal.
Right.
And so you just lock the camera off and you just want to be able to see the net, that you see that there's a goal, and then everyone erupting in the crowd.
Right.
And so you need attendance to be good. You need to know that they're probably going to score a goal.
The upper 2/3 of the screen is fan reaction.
Exactly.
And you've got the goal in the bottom corner. Yeah.
Typically like on a power play or anything like that, it's like you're booting it to like where you've scoped out a spot where it's like, this is the circumstances I've been looking for this particular shot.
Right.
You can do a lot more of those types of shots and really push the creativity where, you know, you might dial in on a family member of someone who's on the ice who you think might have a good chance of scoring, and you can kind of burn a goal on that basically. Right. Like there were certain Team Canada games where it was like 11 goals. Sure, so you're like, yeah, I can fuck with
Let's get mom on the shot.
Exactly. Yeah. So you take more chances, but I honestly, the longest answer ever to answer your question, there's more pressure in shooting the women's overall, but it's such good vibes that going from that to men's would be really weird.
Right.
Because you're performing at such a high level after men's, and I would never do back-to-back tournaments ever again. Just for the record. And I expressed this to my boss on my last day. I was like, I love you. I will never do that again. You have to peak on your last days, which is why I love it. Not to get too like mentally ill here, but like that's one of my favorite things about working World Juniors is you are sleep deprived, your brain's cooked, you're burnt out, you're exhausted, and everyone's like that. Again, like everyone is in the same boat as you. You're so fucking tired. You just want to go home. You've watched a million hockey games.
At some point they run together.
But you have to perform at your absolute best when you are the most tired. And you have the most things on your plate. And I love that. I fuck with that so hard. Where it's just like, I think that's what separates a lot of people. Where you're like, yeah, everyone's good on day 1. How are you on day 13?
Well, and how do you not become, you know, like a fan? Like, Canada's out in the quarters, I'm bailing the rest of this. Nope. Like, I'm a Canadian, but I am here working for the international broadcast. Like the tournament is still ramping up just because my team's out.
I like that. Yeah. I was very lucky.
You like it?
No, full transparency. I do, because there's no, how do I describe this? It working for a league, dummies working for a team because you have no attachments. Sure. You can just focus on what your task is and just get the best of whatever you need to for this situation without any emotional ties. And so even like the Team Canada game, like I was on the bench for the bronze medal game.
Okay.
And it was awesome. Yeah. And it was really cool. And like it was, you know, something I'm super proud of that I was there for.
Yeah.
Obviously I didn't fucking do anything. And like I got like Sean Young, who's former Red Black strength and conditioning, 67 strength and conditioning, is their strength and conditioning coach. So it was awesome to see like a friendly face.
Sure.
We ran into each other in Dallas as well. Shout out Sean, he's a beauty of a human being. And so I want what's best for him.
Of course.
But I have no real attachment. Like I'm a football guy, not a hockey guy.
Yep.
So that makes it easier right from the jump. But as soon as it's like, oh, they're going to the bronze medal game, it's like, sweet. Yeah. Like it's 50% less stress for me.
Right.
And then when that gold medal game goes, it's just like, hey, just be really good at your job. There's no added pressure that it's Canada in the gold medal game. It's just like, no, you just got to be good at your job. Like you're good at what you do. Like just keep being good at what you do. And like, there's no pressure. Now, if you had a Canada USA file for men's World Juniors,
yeah,
man, I'd be sweating bullets probably. And even in Ottawa the year before, I think it was the bronze medal game, and please correct me if I'm wrong.
I think, yeah, okay.
Where it was the shootout. Was that the bronze medal game or was that the gold medal game? Might have been the
I
gold
honestly
medal game.
can't remember, man.
They're-
Again, because I am that guy. Once Canada goes down, my interest drops hard, right?
So there
Like
was a
that.
shootout, and I feel bad, but it all just honestly
Sorry,
blends
you've
together.
seen a lot of hockey.
I've seen a lot of hockey. But it was a shootout ending, and I remember I couldn't feel my face. I was so nervous because I was just thinking about like all the little shit of like the camera things. It's like, well, what if the camera shakes? And like,
Right.
you know, I'm shooting manual focus. It's like, do we shoot autofocus to make sure? And it's like, well, we don't shoot autofocus. Like all the little dumb shit that you don't think about. You're just adding pressure to yourself where like I've just learned now, like it's just like shooting anything. And it's just like, just be good at your job.
Like how much? Because someone's shooting this and it has to be a nightmare.
No
But
one's listening to this, by the way. I've just been nerding
this
out
is okay.
about the most
You know what?
minute
I was
details.
a little bit.
Everyone has stopped
I was a
listening.
little bit worried about that over the summer. Not the case at all, man. Like people loved this kind of behind the scenes nerdy shit. That
Okay, cool.
So I've seen, and the one that I think about the most, or at least think of first, is the '09 World Juniors and Eberle scores and whatever. And there's always this famous camera shot that feels like it's on the wall in the highest, most out of the way back corner of but the whole place is shaking.
Yeah.
And I've seen it since, right? Certainly when the Jays have done some crazy cool shit
Yeah,
here
yeah,
recently,
yeah.
and that you can tell this concrete dome is
shaking.
rattling or whatever. Is that for somebody like you trying to put it together ahead of time, who's going to have to edit this into a package later? Is that a nightmare, or do you lean into that and go, "Fuck, man, I'm glad that's visible. I'm glad that's carrying through
Yeah,
to
no,
the home."
it's awesome.
Yeah. It's not some crazy guy wobbling up holding an old 1989 shoulder-mounted camera. This building is falling over right now.
Yeah, and you had that. I'm so bad. I'll show you. I have cell phone footage of a couple things.
Which is always shot really steady. Cell phone video is always really...
Yeah. Like I
you
was,
know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Well, I was on the bench for the end of the last like 4 games of the tournament, just to get the reaction shots. And you get bumped around and pushed around and stuff like that, and it fucks up your shot.
yeah.
But it adds to your
It's
shot.
real.
It's very real, where it's like you got a random equipment manager pushing you out of the way to jump on top of guys. It's like, that's awesome.
Yes.
Like, I love that shit. Or guys
I'm
who...
embedded in this.
Yeah, or like you get guys who aren't dressed.
Sure.
Who like are like tackling guys and you get kicked or some shit. Like you're just like, this is great. Like it just kind of it's a very just flow state.
So, for real this time,
Yeah.
last thing before a break, because I'm
Yes.
already thinking how this might get sliced into two.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, that's coming from both sides of the table. I don't know how much of the Olympic hockey tournament you watched, but we have seen it a little bit more often. People sending cameras onto the field of play, not during play.
I have opinions about this. Go ahead.
Okay, this is why I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
I think it was that I don't know, the quarterfinal game where Nick Suzuki scores on the tip in to
open the
tie
door
the
early.
game, and they open the door
Yep.
early to
Yep.
let a cameraman on to be getting great shots of the
Yep.
celebration.
Yep. And
But Nick Suzuki almost tumbles through that fucking door.
it's your literal worst nightmare. Literal worst nightmare.
Is this something we should just live with? Because it's going to be great for the viewer.
Yep.
It's going to be less great for the Montreal Canadiens or Team Canada if Nick Suzuki blows an ankle. Like, I see both sides of it, but that is, like you just said, that has to be like, okay, the very first time we bring up this idea, what if we open the door and send a cameraman out? The very first counterpoint would be, what happens if, and we almost saw it, man. We almost saw it right there in a Team Canada Olympic hockey game.
So my honest to God, so I saw it.
Yeah.
And like I felt terrible and I'm not sure if it was an assistant camera who opened the door or it was the camera guy who opened the door. My honest to God opinion is it's shitty that it happened. And like that would keep me up at night for years. And I'm sure it's going to keep that dude up. Whoever opened the door, they're never going to stop.
Now,
thinking about
Suzuki
that.
was fine.
He was fine, yeah. But my argument for why it should stay is because it's never going to fucking happen again. Because it happened on the biggest stage, under the biggest circumstances, after one of the biggest moments of the tournament to a huge
to a marquee team. Not to be an
like,
asshole, but it wasn't Italy versus
Absolutely.
France. It was Canada.
It's worst case scenario in every possible quantifiable way, which means it'll never fucking happen again. Because you have the guys who do that and girls who do that, be it TSN or ESPN or CBC. I'm not sure how they shake out the crews for stuff like the Olympics. They're the best.
That I'm sure would have been a host broadcaster thing, right? As opposed to...
I don't know.
No?
I don't know.
Okay. I've seen Julia Teixeira do it at Memorial Cups and stuff before she left for the PWHL. That was awesome too.
I have to do some digging on some of my IG, my behind the broadcast tape pages.
Okay.
I can confidently say there was at least one meeting after that happened between everybody to be like, hey, let's make sure that doesn't fucking happen again.
And so for people who did miss it, if I didn't tee it up well, Suzuki scores that massive tip-in goal. Everyone's going crazy. And they've been doing it in every game. You open a door, a cameraman comes out to capture the celebration, but he's just a half second early as the celebration is heading to that corner.
That exact corner.
Oh my God.
It's a nightmare.
If somebody, like I said, goes off the ice, blows out an ankle or a knee.
Oh my God. I would be vomiting after that whole sequence of events. I'm that camera comes off the ice, I close the door, I'm throwing up until I'm crying probably. No, but in all seriousness, you're talking, it's a cataclysmic mistake that luckily didn't result in any injuries or anything like that. No. But they're the best of the best of the best at what they do. And you make that mistake once and you'll never make it again. And if you do someone happens to make that mistake again, then you're going to lose cameras on ice for sure. Someone gets hurt, for sure. But I see it. I saw it happen in real time. I was like, oh my God, that's all of our worst nightmare. Because you're trying to do something cool and new and innovative, and then someone almost gets hurt. Worst case scenario across the board. But at the end of the day, you're talking about the highest level professionals in the industry who don't fuck up. They're in that position because they don't fuck up. You make one mistake, you're human, you miscalculated something wasn't communicated, or you didn't see something, whatever it was.
Right.
That person will never make that mistake again because they didn't get there by accident.
No. Fair enough.
So, no, that's my professional take on it.
We will take the break.
Do we need more beer?
Yeah.
Yes.
Obviously. And for you, good listener, that means we'll be back tomorrow.
Two-parter.
I've already decided how we're going to cut this. I'm not going to try and backfill it later, try and pretend things didn't happen the way they've happened. We will wrap this one here, but Joshua O'Connor will be back again on Thursday's edition of the Tall Can Audio Podcast. We'll have a fresh new pint each, and got lots more I want to dig into with you, man, here on the broadcast side, on the CFL side. I want to pick your brain a little bit. We got things to do. So
Thursday's going to be a loose podcast.
This is it.
Buckle up.
Often is. We'll wrap this one up here for Joshua O'Connor. My name is Matt Robinson. Same crew. We'll see you tomorrow.